Hello, I'm Camilla Tominey, Associate Editor of The Telegraph, here with my fellow Associate Editor, Gordon Rayner. Gordon, what did you reckon of Rishi's speech?
I thought it was not bad. It wasn't a tub-thumping speech.
No.
He didn't get a sort of rousing roar at the end.
No.
But I think he started a lot of interesting debates on a few subjects. I think particularly basically scrapping A levels. He's
Yes.
talking about. There's going to be a huge debate about that.
I'm not sure it'll go down that well with teachers.
No, I don't think
Although
so.
the
And probably
30
not,
grand
and probably not
bonuses,
teenagers.
no, teenagers will say not again, changing perhaps 3 subjects to 5. He didn't really make it clear what exactly he was proposing with that advanced British standard.
Yeah, I assume we're going to not have A levels anymore. That it's now going to be called ABS or something.
But when?
Sounds like
I mean,
breaks.
he didn't give a time on
No.
it, did he?
And 195 hours extra in the classroom over the course of a year. That seems a lot.
Studying English and maths until 18.
Yeah.
Which
Anyway.
he's hinted at before, but that was just one.
But it's an interesting idea, right?
Yeah. What did you make of the HS2 announcement?
I thought he did the right thing in making a decision now, and I think that from some of the feedback I've seen, it hasn't gone down badly with people in the north necessarily.
If he's come up with a better project for the north, and wasn't there a lot of cheers for the upgrading of our motorways?
So the biggest cheer he got in the entire speech was when he said he was going to upgrade the A1 and the A2 and other roads.
Yeah.
That got a bigger cheer than anything else,
Yeah.
including saying that he was going to scrap A levels.
So the pothole brigade will be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought in tone, he is extremely earnest. I mean, what did we make of Mrs. Sunak coming out on stage at the beginning? That was quite a different thing, but I was thinking to myself, oh, brilliant, it's the PM's wife. We're going to finally hear something we didn't know about Rishi.
Yeah.
And what she was basically saying was, please trust us, he's really nice.
Yes, I love my husband very much. I thought it was a good move. We were trying to think of who the last Prime Ministerial spouse to do that was. I think we have to go back a long way. I thought what was smart about it was that the biggest criticism people make of him, we saw it in that word cloud when he was interviewed on Sunday by Laura Kuenssberg, is about his wealth.
Yes.
And she is the source of his wealth. And I like the fact that he put her front and centre, that he's being unapologetic about the fact that, she's my wife and I'm proud of her. I'm not going to hide from the fact that I'm wealthy. So I think in that sense it was a smart move. He owned it.
I mean, overall, I still really can't define what Sunakism is. I mean, I think in a way, he played a good game of what I would call Telegraph reader bingo. We had HS2, which we know is unpopular with our readers, being scrapped. We had more money and attention being focused on education, which I think, of course, is important to parents. He made that comment about women being women and men being men, and that it was an indisputable biological fact, which will certainly play well with the anti-culture warriors.
And it's further than he's gone before on that, I think.
Indeed. He said nothing was off the table when it comes to immigration, which hinted at leaving the ECHR being on the table.
Didn't say that though, did he?
Didn't say it specifically. He wasn't courageous enough on that. He talked about life sentences, so it was a tough on crime message.
Yeah.
It's red meat, right?
Yeah,
That's red meat.
And also, I think this idea of effectively outlawing smoking over time. Again, it's going to provoke a huge debate. It's an interesting idea.
It's very anti-conservative and anti-libertarian to start telling people what to do with their lives, even if it's bad ideas.
Yeah, and I think you're then going to get people saying, aren't you just going to be handing a multi-billion-pound industry to criminal gangs because it's effectively prohibition?
Yeah.
But look, it's a really interesting subject, and
on criminal gangs, he does this thing, unlike Suella, who gets quite visceral with her language about immigrations and talks about, hurricanes at this conference. He talks about the criminal gangs, smashing the criminal gangs. He sort of said this thing about stopping the boats and the number of boat crossings being down 20%. Still don't think people will be that convinced by those numbers.
Well, I think the numbers are real, but I think the problem is that he just doesn't show the passion that you want to see from a Prime Minister. I think if we'd heard, say a Boris Johnson or even a Liz Truss delivering some of those lines, they would have been, more or less sort of punching the air when they were saying them. It almost feels at times as if he doesn't quite believe in some of the things that he's saying. Yeah. That, when he says we're going to take on Keir Starmer and we're going to beat him, does he does he really believe that?
Well,
I'm
look,
not
he
sure.
talks tough, but he's not ever been the playground bully. He's the head boy. So it's hard for him to be credible on this tough talk. It's a bit like Ed Miliband's hell yeah. We know he's a nice person. We know he's competent. We know he's hardworking. We believe him when he talks about his values. He's saying that he's the change candidate, and we can understand why he's doing that after 13 years of Tory rule.
Yeah.
He's shown courage with net zero, but I still think that it all needs to be a lot punchier and a lot more critical of Labour if he's going to take this party over the line at the next general election.
So there was nothing at all on tax or the economy, really, was there?
Halving inflation is the best tax cut we can give.
Well, we've heard that, haven't we? I think we were talking about this before. I think he will have another party conference before the next election. I think if he's going to have an election in the autumn, it would seem bizarre to go into an election having not had a conference for probably a year.
Yeah.
I think that he needs to turbocharge the party ready for that election. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another December election, perhaps. Boris has shown that it can be done.
Yeah.
That did not feel like the last speech before an election, and the timings are really difficult for him, in terms of when he can call the next election and etc. So I suspect that he's keeping some of his powder dry.
Yeah.
But I think we do need to see more from him, and quickly, about why he is this. As you said, he talked about I'm the
reform
change.
politician.
I'm the change. I didn't really understand from that why he is change.
Because he knows that the electorate is obviously thinking the only change they can get is with Labour, and he's saying it's with him. Final thought, as he's a mathematician, should we give him a mark out of 10? What do you reckon?
I think I'd probably give him 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I was thinking 7 as well.
Yeah.
But will it be his lucky 7? We'll have to wait and see.